I do know that I've received so much more than my fair share of good fortune in my life, and
My name is Sasheen Littlefeather. I'm Apache, and I'm president of the National Native American.
I suppose you'd still be attractive to any man of spirit, though. There's something engaging about it, this goddess business.
Ever wondered which Hollywood legends couldn't stand the Duke himself, John Wayne? Stick around as we count down the top 10 actors who had serious beef with a Western icon. Number 10, Marlon Brando.
There were a number of people that felt that Sasheen had.
Marlon Brando in The Godfather.
Did you know that Marlon Brando's Oscar protest once made John Wayne so angry he almost stormed the stage? This Hollywood clash is one for the ages. It was the 1973 Academy Awards, and Marlon Brando had just won Best Actor for the legendary performance in The Godfather. But instead of gracing the stage to accept his Oscar, Brando sent Sasheen Littlefeather, an Apache actress and activist, in his place. She walked onto the stage in traditional Native American attire and delivered a short, pointed speech rejecting the award on Brando's behalf. Her message, Hollywood's mistreatment and stereotyping of Native Americans, needed to stop.
My name is Sasheen Littlefeather. I'm Apache, and I'm president of the National Native American.
The room erupted in a mix of applause and boos, but backstage, things were boiling over. John Wayne, who was in attendance that night, was reportedly furious. Accounts from the event claim that Wayne had to be physically restrained by security to prevent him from charging onto the stage and confronting Littlefeather. Imagine the Duke himself, enraged, being held back. It's a scene straight out of a Western showdown, but this time the stakes were real. Wayne's anger wasn't surprising. He had spent decades starring in films that glorified the Old West, many of which portrayed Native Americans as villains. For him, Brando's protest wasn't just a jab at Hollywood, it felt personal. Wayne, a vocal defender of traditional American values in the Western genre, later said, "I think it's a shame for a man like Marlon Brando to use the Academy Awards for a political stunt." But Brando saw things differently.
I received an awful lot of mail in support of that.
Known for his method acting brilliance and fiery activism, Brando believed in using his fame to challenge societal injustices. When asked about the protest, he explained, "Why should we accept an award for playing pretend when real people are being marginalized and ignored?" Interestingly, these two men shared more similarities than they might have admitted. Both were larger-than-life figures who shaped Hollywood history in their own ways. Brandon revolutionized acting with his raw, emotional performances, while Wayne embodied the idealized American hero. But their opposing ideologies, Brandon's progressive activism versus Wayne's staunch conservatism, made them destined to clash. Their infamous Oscar moment became a symbol of Hollywood's growing cultural tensions in the 1970s, a time when activism and tradition were on a collision course. Number 9, Clint Eastwood.
Now tell me, you know where I can find him?
American Westerns, I never could understand that. And I remember Don Siegel got in trouble when he was doing it.
Imagine two Western legends, John Wayne and Clint Eastwood, never sharing the screen. The reason behind this missed collaboration might surprise you. In the late 1960s and early 1970s, Clint Eastwood emerged as a new face of Western cinema, bringing a grittier, more anti-heroic persona to the genre. His film High Plains Drifter 1973 exemplified this shift, portraying a morally ambiguous protagonist in a stark, violent narrative.
Alive or dead, it's your choice.
Let Red go.
Sneaks around the room and John Wayne comes up behind him And he says, then just shoot him. And he said, there was a long pause, and he said,
John Wayne, synonymous with the classic Western hero, was unimpressed. He felt Eastwood's portrayal deviated too far from the traditional values and clear moral distinctions that define the genre. Wayne reportedly referred to Eastwood's work as distasteful and believed it undermined the heroic image of the Western cowboy. Their differing philosophies came to a head when Eastwood sent Wayne a script for a potential collaboration. Wayne's response was blunt, expressing his disdain for the project and criticizing Eastwood's interpretation of the Western genre. He wrote, "That piece of shit again," dismissing the idea of working together.
and he said, Wayne turned blue. You see, so
Eastwood, recognizing the generational and stylistic differences between them, acknowledged that Wayne represented an earlier era of Westerns, while he was exploring new, more complex narratives. He once remarked, "John Wayne had his idea of what the West was, and I had mine." This ideological divide prevented any on-screen partnership, marking a clear delineation between the classic Westerns of Wayne's era and the revisionist approach that Eastwood popularized. Their mutual respect for each other's contributions to cinema was overshadowed by these fundamental disagreements. Number 8, Frank Sinatra.
Loves somebody sometime. Everybody.
Did you know that John Wayne and Frank Sinatra once nearly came to blows over politics? Their heated rivalry was the talk of Hollywood. Frank Sinatra, the suave singer and actor, was known for his liberal views and associations with the Rat Pack, a group that embraced progressive ideals. In contrast, John Wayne was a staunch conservative, deeply involved in promoting traditional American values. Their political differences often brought them into conflict, both publicly and privately. One notable incident occurred when Sinatra hired Albert Maltz, a screenwriter who had been blacklisted during the McCarthy era, to pen a screenplay. Wayne, a fervent anti-communist, was outraged by this decision. He confronted Sinatra at a Hollywood event, accusing him of being unpatriotic and undermining American values. The confrontation escalated, with both men exchanging heating words, nearly resulting in a physical altercation.
Something in your kiss just told me.
Their animosity wasn't limited to politics. Wayne reportedly disapproved of Sinatra's lifestyle and his influence in Hollywood, viewing him as a negative example for the industry. Sinatra, in turn, saw Wayne as a symbol of outdated conservatism, resistant to the cultural changes sweeping through America during the 1960s and 1970s. Despite their differences, both men were professionals and occasionally found themselves working together. They appeared in the 1966 film Cast a Giant Shadow, maintaining a cordial relationship on set. However, their off-screen interactions remained tense, often reflecting the broader cultural and political divides of the era. Interestingly, as time passed, Sinatra's political views shifted. By the 1980s, he had become a supporter of Republican candidates, including Ronald Reagan. This change led to a mellowing of tensions between him and Wayne, with reports suggesting that they eventually reconciled and shared mutual respect for each other's contributions to the entertainment industry.
Tired of expensive, low-effort script writers for your YouTube channel? Autoscripter.ai is the ultimate solution. Say goodbye to low-quality, poorly retention amateur scripts that fail to generate thousands of views for your channel. At a fraction of the cost, Autoscripter.ai helps your videos go viral. In just 3 steps, Autoscripter.ai creates a polished script tailored to your needs. Just input your title concept, select your tone and style, The intuitive interface makes editing and refining effortless, fast, smart, and trusted by hundreds of satisfied users who have already discovered the amazing tool. Start your free trial today and watch Autoscripter.ai transform your YouTube channel. Just click the link in the video description below now.
Number 7. Clark Gable.
Clark Gable, at 41, renounces his throne as America's most popular film star to join the United States Army.
Scarlett, I've been thinking things over, and I really believe it would be better for both of us if we admitted we'd made a mistake and got a divorce.
Did you know that John Wayne once called Clark Gable an idiot? Their off-screen rivalry was as intense as any on-screen drama. Clark Gable, the king of Hollywood, and John Wayne, the quintessential Western hero, were two of the most prominent actors of their time. Despite their shared status, the two had a notably strained relationship, primarily due to professional rivalries and differing personalities. Their animosity became particularly evident during the production of the 1953 film Magambo, directed by John Ford. Gable starred alongside Ava Gardner and Grace Kelly in this African-American romance. During the filming, tensions arose between Gable and Ford, with reports suggesting that Gable's approach to the role and his interactions on set clashed with Ford's directorial style. John Wayne, known for his loyalty to friends, took Ford's side in the disputes. He publicly criticized Gable, reportedly calling him an idiot and questioning his acting abilities. Wayne's disdain for Gable wasn't solely based on the Magambo incidents.
Well, I've been hunting for a rabbit skin to wrap my little Bonnie in. Give your best sweetheart a kiss.
He had previously expressed criticism about Gable's acting prowess, suggesting that Gable's success was more about his charm and screen presence than genuine talent. This rivalry was further fueled by their differing approaches to their careers. Gable was known for his suave leading man roles in romantic dramas, while Wayne epitomized the rugged, stoic hero of westerns and war films. Their contrasting images contributed to a sense of competition and mutual disdain. Despite their personal differences, both actors maintained successful careers and left lasting legacies in Hollywood. Gable's performance in Gone with the Wind remains iconic, while Wayne's extensive filmography continues to influence the Western genre. Interestingly, while their rivalry was well known, they never publicly engaged in direct confrontations, choosing instead to express their opinions through interviews and third-party accounts. Number 6. Gene Hackman.
Change the scenery. You know, the grits started leaving a bad taste in my mouth.
Imagine being labeled the worst actor in town by John Wayne himself. That's exactly what happened to Gene Hackman. Gene Hackman, renowned for his versatile performances in films like The French Connection and Unforgiven, was not immune to criticism from his peers. John Wayne, a towering figure in Hollywood, reportedly harbored a strong dislike for Hackman's acting style. Wayne's disdain was so pronounced that he allegedly referred to Hackman as the worst actor in town, a harsh critic considering Hackman's acclaimed career. The origins of Wayne's animosity towards Hackman are not entirely clear, as the two never worked together directly. Some speculate that Wayne's traditional views on acting and filmmaking clashed with Hackman's more modern, method-based approach. Hackman was part of a new generation of actors who brought a raw, realistic intensity to their roles, a stark contrast to the larger-than-life personas that dominated Wayne's era. Despite Wayne's harsh assessment, Hackman continued to build an impressive body of work, earning multiple Academy Awards and the respect of audiences and critics alike. His portrayal of complex, flawed characters resonated with a changing audience, reflecting the evolving landscape of America's cinema. Interestingly, Wayne's criticism did not seem to impact Hackman's career trajectory. He remained a sought-after actor throughout the 1970s and 1980s, delivering powerful performances in films such as Mississippi Burning and Hoosiers. Hackman's dedication to his craft and his ability to inhabit a wide range of characters solidified his status as one of Hollywood's most respected actors. Number 5, Katherine Hepburn.
I've never been to an Academy Award. Now, if I sit here in my chair...
I suppose you'd still be attractive to any man of spirit, though. There's something engaging about it, this goddess business.
Did you know that Katherine Hepburn once called John Wayne a bastard to his face? Their on-scene clashes were as legendary as their acting careers. Katherine Hepburn, celebrated for her fierce independence and strong-willed nature, finally agreed to work with John Wayne in the 1975 film Rooster Cogburn. This collaboration was highly anticipated, given their towering statuses in Hollywood and their contrasting personalities. During the filming, tensions arose due to their differing work ethics and political views. Hepburn, known for her meticulous approach to acting, often found herself at odds with Wayne's more instinctual style. Additionally, their political ideologies clashed. Hepburn's liberal stance contrasted sharply with Wayne's conservatism.
Why don't I go to the Academy Awards? It has to be that I'm afraid I'm going to lose.
You're so much thought and so little feeling, Professor.
Oh, I am I?
Yes, you am, are you?
One notable incident occurred at the wrap party for Rooster Cogburn. Hepburn confronted Wayne about his on-set behavior, reportedly telling him, "I'm glad I didn't know you when you had 2 lungs. You must have been a real bastard." This remark referenced Wayne's lung removal surgery due to cancer and highlighted Hepburn's candid nature. Despite these confrontations, the two maintained a professional relationship throughout the production. Hepburn later acknowledged Wayne's charisma and presence, stating, "He has confidence in himself, which gives him enormous charisma. I think he's an awfully good actor and a terribly funny man."
Of not going, I think that's cheap of me. Second rate not to go.
Their collaboration in Rooster Cogburn remains a testament to their professionalism, demonstrating that even strong personalities with opposing views can create memorable cinematic experiences. Interestingly, despite their on-set clashes, both actors held a mutual respect for each other's talents. Number 4, Richard Woodmark.
You must be Jim Bowie.
Well, excuse me. Atlanta to talk about this movie, Backlash. We made it at Universal. It's a Technicolor Western.
Did you know that John Wayne once threw Richard Woodmark against a wall during a heated on-set confrontation? Their feud during The Alamo was intense. Richard Woodmark, known for his roles in film noirs and westerns, co-starred with John Wayne in the 1960 epic The Alamo. Wayne, making his directorial debut, also played the lead role of Davy Crockett. From the beginning, tensions between the two actors were palpable. Woodmark, a liberal Democrat, often found himself at odds with Wayne's staunch conservatism.
This order is not followed with dispatch. There will be no quarter given.
I weighed about 145 pounds, and you bump up against a 250-pound tackle, you've had it.
Their political differences, coupled with contrasting acting styles, led to frequent disagreements on set. Woodmark was reportedly critical of Wayne's directing abilities, which only added fuel to the fire. The situation reached a boiling point when, during a particularly heated argument, Wayne physically confronted Woodmark, throwing him against a wall. This altercation shocked the cast and crew, highlighting the deep-seated animosity between the two.
Well, I like to work with a lot of girls in Hollywood. Donna Reed, the girl that's in this.
Despite this incident, both actors continued with the production, maintaining professionalism to complete the film. However, their relationship remained strained, and they avoided working together in the future. Interestingly, The Alamo went on to receive 7 Academy Award nominations, including Best Picture, showcasing that, even amidst personal conflicts, cinematic excellence can be achieved. Number 3, Daniel DeLewis.
I'm 47. 47 years old.
Did you know that Daniel Day-Lewis, one of the most acclaimed actors of our time, once admitted he never took to John Wayne's performances? His candid views offer a fascinating glimpse into the diverse world of acting preferences. Daniel Day-Lewis, celebrated for his immense method acting and transformative roles, has often shared his admiration for various cinematic legends. He has expressed deep appreciation for actors like Robert De Niro, whose performance in Taxi Driver profoundly influenced him. Day-Lewis recalled watching the film multiple times in its initial release week, captivated by De Niro's portrayal. He remarked, "I was utterly sure that he was that man in Taxi Driver." Similarly, Day-Lewis has lauded Clint Eastwood's work, particularly his westerns. He reminisced about attending all-night screenings of Eastwood's films, stating, "I used to go to all-night screenings of his movies. I'd stagger out at 5 in the morning, trying to be loose-limbed and mean and taciturn." However, when it comes to John Wayne, Day-Lewis's sentiments differ markedly. In an interview, he confessed, "I do not like John Wayne. I find it hard to watch him. I just never took to him." This perspective is intriguing, especially considering Wayne's iconic status in Hollywood, particularly with the Western genre.
I do know that I've received so much more than my fair share of good fortune in my life, and I'm so grateful to the Academy.
Day-Lewis's critique may stem from differing acting philosophies. Wayne was known for his consistent screen persona, often embodying the archetypal rugged American hero. He once addressed such critiques by saying, "To say a star, you have to bring along some of your own personality. Thousands of good actors can carry a scene, but a star has to carry the scene and still, without intruding, allow some of his character into it."
So I cut out the eye that looked away. Sent it to him wrapped in blue.
In contrast, Day-Lewis is renowned for his chameleon-like ability to disappear into a wide array of characters, each distinct from the last. Number 2, John Lennon.
Gonna knock you right on the head. You better get yourself together. We're playing those mind games together.
Did you know that John Lennon once turned his honeymoon into a full-scale protest? And that John Wayne, on the other hand, used a blockbuster movie to defend the very war Lennon despised? Let's rewind to 1969. Lennon and his wife, Yoko Ono, were the hottest celebrity couple on the planet, and they decided to spend their honeymoon not basking on some secluded beach, but lying in a bed, protesting the Vietnam War. In their famous bed-in for peace at the Amsterdam Hilton, reporters packed the room as Lennon, dressed in pajamas, casually said, "We're just two people in bed, trying to promote peace." Their protest wasn't a typical shouting in the streets kind of activism. It was clever, peaceful, and headline-grabbing. They held signs that read "hair peace" and "bed peace," inviting the world to rethink conflict in the simplest terms. Lennon later explained, "We knew it was absurd, but that's the point. War is absurd."
Laughing in the face of love. What on earth you trying to do?
While Lennon's bed-in made waves, John Wayne, Hollywood's iconic cowboy and self-proclaimed patriot, was busy directing and starring in The Green Berets, a film designed to champion the U.S. involvement in Vietnam. Released in 1968, the movie was packed with sweeping heroics and painted a glorified picture of soldiers fighting communism. In one scene, a dying soldier hands his medallion to a Vietnamese boy saying, "You're what this is all about." To Wayne, the film wasn't just a story, it was a call to action for Americans to rally behind the war effort. Now, imagine this. While Lennon strummed his guitar singing "Give Peace a Chance," an anthem that would soon echo through anti-war protests worldwide, Wayne stood before cameras at press events defending the moral righteousness of American intervention in Vietnam. These two icons, from completely different worlds, became symbols of generational and ideological divide. But here's the twist. Lennon admired Wayne as a cultural figure. In private, Lennon reportedly joked about Wayne being the epitome of American masculinity, a character so entrenched in Americana that he couldn't imagine him in any other way. Conversely, Wayne dismissed Lennon's protests as gimmicks, but admitted the Beatles wrote some damn good songs. These two men, polar opposites in belief, proved one thing. Their platforms had the power to move millions. One sang for peace, the other acted for duty. Both left us questioning which is more powerful, art or action. Number 1, Spike Lee.
I came back to New York for the summer. That was the summer of 1977. New York City was literally... There are a lot of stuff people think is happening the first time. It's not happening.
That's urban, yeah, I remember it now, urban terror.
Did you know that Spike Lee once declared, F bleep John Wayne and John Ford? His critiques challenged Hollywood's portrayal of race in history. Spike Lee, the acclaimed filmmaker behind Do the Right Thing and Malcolm X, has been a vocal critic of Hollywood's historical narratives, particularly those shaped by icons like John Wayne and director John Ford. Lee argues that their films perpetuated harmful stereotypes, especially in their depiction of Native Americans and African Americans. In a 2018 lecture, Lee expressed his disdain, stating, "I've never been a fan of John Wayne and John Ford and that cowboy bullshit. I hate them. Native Americans depicted as savages and animals? F blank John Wayne and John Ford." Lee's criticism extends beyond individual figures to the broader industry. He contends that Hollywood has long marginalized minority contributions, particularly in war narratives. In his film Miracle at St. Anna, Lee highlights the overlooked heroism of African American soldiers during World War II, countering the predominantly white portrayals in classic war films. The film opens with a scene from The Longest Day, featuring John Wayne, which Lee uses to underscore the exclusion of black soldiers from such narratives. He remarks, "This is the Hollywood bullshit mythology that excludes 1 million people." Lee's confrontations with Hollywood's legacy aren't limited to Wayne and Ford. He has also critiqued contemporaries like Clint Eastwood for similar omissions. In response to Eastwood's war films lacking black soldiers, Lee stated, "Not everything was John Wayne, baby." Despite the controversies, Lee's unwavering stance has sparked essential conversations about representation in cinema. And if you think Hollywood drama ends here, you might want to check out what's next. Just click the video on your screen. You won't believe what happened next. Watch it now.